My leadership is about trying to be a bridge builder and trying to create the conditions for people to discover that their liberation, their freedom, their prosperity, their ability to live well is deeply tied to the well-being of others. My name is Joseph Tomás Mckellar. I am Executive Director of PICO California. I'm a part of the Civil Society Fellowship. Life has changed a lot in the pandemic. Sort of find myself and our organization and our world in the midst of a massive paradigm shift. We've just had to adapt to how to create community in the midst of so much uncertainty and fluidity. PICO California is a network of 10 faith-based multiracial community organizations that work with low-income people, mainly people of color, and collectively we represent 450,000 Californians. And our mission really is to create a California where all people can belong and thrive. And we do that by building people power, by building narrative power, by giving voice to those who are on the peripheries, those are on the margins. The pandemic has made organizing more difficult because we are highly relational in our strategies. So the shift to kind of a virtual online organizing platform has been a challenge to kind of maintaining and cultivating relationships. But I also will say that many of the families in the communities where we work with never had the luxury of shifting to a virtual organizing or virtual life environment. So many of the families in our communities still have to go to work every day. We can't go back to quote unquote normal, because what was normal was deficient, was insufficient, was unjust for so many of the people in our communities and congregations where we organize. And so much of my leadership has been about trying to help figure out how we accelerate a move towards a more equitable, more inclusive version of our world than the one we have today. I find myself relying more on the wisdom of others to kind of chart the way forward. I think oftentimes I thought of myself as someone who kind of needs to have a blueprint or at least an idea of where we should go. And given the uncertainty, the fear, the anxiety in the world around us, I think being a part of a team of folks who are collectively trying to paint a picture of what the future could be has helped. Like just creating spaces for others to co-create and co-conspire has been an important strategy. It's also helped me realize that, I think we as human beings oftentimes see the world not as it is. We see the world as we are. The only way we're going to get out of the many challenges facing our country is if we can build a resilient and diverse enough constituency who believes that an alternative future is not only possible, but probable when we link arms and we choose to stand with and for one another. But that requires us to both learn, I think, a set of things and truths about one another, and it requires us to unlearn a set of biases shaped by narratives rooted in exclusion that frankly serve to reinforce this caste system that we all live in. And so, again, I think my leadership is about trying to be a bridge builder and trying to create the conditions for people across difference to belong, to come to discover that their liberation, their freedom, their prosperity, their ability to live well is deeply tied to the well-being of others. Pope Francis often says, "Quédate con el pueblo," which means stay with the people, stay close to the people. And the Pope often says as well that reality is greater than ideas. And we kind of operate in the currency of ideas, but ultimately the reality of people's lived experiences and their stories and being proximate to their experiences and stories should more than anything shape the ideas that we embrace about how the world needs to change and who we need to become as individuals. people will change you and help you become a more expansive, more generous version of yourself is something that would have been important for me to hear in the beginning of the pandemic, and I think continues to be important for us all to hear.